Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who finally met his idol and was murdered by him on a lovely building facing New York's best skyline, Carl Charles, and
Yeah, and the kid who killed the Baba Yaga's dog, T.Y.
that's
Chung.
that's the name that I couldn't remember. And in this episode today, we're gonna just have cause of John Wick. And he's awesome. We're just gonna talk about the John Wick movie franchise as number 4 is coming out in the near future. So yeah,
John Wick 1 was 2014.
Yep.
John Wick 2 2016.
Yep.
Am I correct? Yeah, and John Wick 3 2000. I want to say 18, but 19 maybe.
I think it was 18.
Wow, that's a long break between.
That was 19.
All right, okay, yeah.
Wait, one second. So, first one's 2014, second one's 2017.
17. Oh, okay. I thought it was 2016 for some reason. All right,
same. But you know why? 3 feels like it came out so long ago. COVID.
Why?
That's why it feels like it came out so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? When this franchise started, I didn't know what to expect because you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of when you watch it, it's like a low budget indie film, sort of. Not okay. No, it's
isn't it?
Well, it comes up with that vibe because it wasn't expensive, right? Which expensive? How do you rate expensive? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like £50 million or some craziness like that. I think more and more as they got more money, more notoriety, they did start pumping more money, but not like stupid in amounts. The smaller things like massive set piece and stuff. It's just like probably more safety stuff for the stunts.
Yeah.
Because they know what their bread and butter is. You come there just to see John Wick ice some people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
In spectacular ways. Well, no, not in spectacular ways. More clinical kind of ways. Precision.
Yeah, we'll go with precision. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because he comes to fight. Well, he didn't come to fight, right?
No,
but
he didn't want to fight.
Yeah, and then he ends up fighting everyone. But the way it's done, the choreography, he's like, man, Keanu's hitting hard. He's like laying it in good for these things. Well, it looks like it anyway. I don't know how safe some of this stuff is. As in, when you've seen some, I'm sure you've seen some Donnie Yen films, and Donnie Yen is also in John Wick 4. But
yeah, free.
Dude has laid it into people. I think this in China, stuntmen get paid if they're on screen.
Yeah.
So you could come in for the day.
Yeah.
And because they didn't use you or something, you don't get paid, right?
Yeah.
So the rumor is, I don't know if I'm necessarily true, but some of these other stuntmen say, sometimes they go like, yeah, I'm gonna get a good shot. And Donnie's like, did he stop you? Well, I think it's in China notorious as well, probably. Where it's like, yeah, come do the shot, and I'm gonna knock you out real quick.
Wow.
So they legit take a shot. But hey,
wow.
I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how safe the shot is because not gonna be full. Like, Michael B. Jordan got knocked out in Creed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that was controlled. So it's one of those things, yeah.
Why would you take that? Okay.
Well, it depends where they get hit because actually, in one of the behind the scenes, I don't know if you've seen Flashpoint with Donnie Yen.
No.
So the boxers guards they have on their heads.
Yeah.
He pulls the jacket over Colin Churl and he starts punching him in the head. Okay. In the behind the scenes, he's got the jacket of his head, but he's got a head guard on.
Yeah.
So you don't see him, he's just literally punching the guy's head in.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's bits where, even some of these films where you watch it, like I'm sure you've seen the Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, where he kicks a dummy. Like, it's Mr. What's his thing? The guy with the claw, I forgot his name now. And yeah, he just boots the dummy across, like, so the back of the head of the dummy is facing the screen with a wig, and Bruce Lee just kicks it. It goes flying, lifelessly. Right,
okay,
and cartoonishly, that's why you're like, that's got to be a W because no man with weight actually goes in that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think though, like, Okay. I don't know how well you remember the first film, but there's a bit where Keanu's shooting up the nightclub
Yeah.
with Kevin Nash. Just after Kevin Nash is like, yeah,
Oh
speaking Russian.
yeah. Fake
So
Russian.
John Wick gets adds to his adjustment. No, he gets a wasteland, right? He gets a wasteland off the balcony.
Yeah. He does. Fireman carry for it. Take down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much. At what point? I don't know if it what does he. But when he falls, and he falls quite from like I see quite a distance, but the staircase of the club and right. I
Yeah.
don't know if it turns into CG and then like a guy takes a drop, then it turns into CG, and then and then the guy lands.
Yeah.
Because it's so quick. But it's just the way that it goes down. It's just a bit like huh, or it could have been like an actual guy on a thing with you. But then I say, how do you pad the floor? And I think, you see Mission Impossible. What's the one with Henry Cavill? That Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is that Rogue? No. Is
No.
that Rogue Nation?
No.
All right. So you know when they have a fight in the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tiling on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not tiles, obviously.
Yeah. Of course.
Because they bumped on it. It's padded. It's padded plastic squares
Yeah.
that look like tiles.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe when the floor of the club was just cushioned,
Yeah. Maybe.
plastic, whatever it was,
Like,
and some guy legit took that drop.
It seems like that someone did, because it seems too crisp to be like cut. If you know what I mean, the scenes for it to be.
Yeah.
Man drops quickly to put a CGI clip in, and then it seems too much.
Or maybe it's just the way it was stitched. Like
Yeah.
he took a drop a certain distance,
Yeah.
and then they stitched in the rest of the drop.
Yeah. That's probably what it did. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I have noticed in John Wick films that, especially in number one, right? Maybe later on they cleaned it up, but in number one they had the CG bloodshots.
Yeah, they did. Yep. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
Well, yeah, exactly. Not spectacularly obvious, but obvious enough. Where you're like, hold on a second. Yeah, that didn't look like squibs. It hits the walls too cleanly.
Yeah.
But the other films I didn't notice it as much, probably because they had more they had a big budget for CG to add the effects better necessarily.
Yeah, and they probably had more time in post production and stuff as well.
Yeah, because obviously liquid will splatter, right? But when it splatters too clean, you're like, okay, something's slightly odd.
Yeah. It's like when you see those cheap, like, I want to say indie films, college movies, when people just make them and they got like they use the same bloodshot special effect where it just the blood just splats the same way all the time, and like, oh, okay,
yeah,
you got shot from the left, but all right, sure, your blood's
just mirrored the shot.
Yeah, okay, sure, I guess, yeah. And they didn't have this. They didn't have that, obviously, because they had like $30 million to play with. But it's, yeah.
Which gets you, obviously, it's going to get you $30 million or however much it was. It's going to get you less than $30 million in the 90s.
Yeah. It was on it. Yeah.
But I liked it. The fact that it was a small contained story, right? And Keanu being Keanu. Yep. You're just like, he's not like, he's some dude or something, but he just plays it pretty well.
Yeah.
As in you don't know, and then lurking beneath all it, because it's like just mourning for his wife, and he's got it's like it's you expect something else.
Yeah.
And then when he goes, he don't even go rage mode, right?
No.
But he's just like quiet killer.
Yeah.
Until the bit where he's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. After he's had to murder a good couple of people and things like that, and it's the only time in that movie where he shows proper physical kind of rage.
Yeah.
And then he tried to put a paper bag. They tried to put those plastic bags over their heads, where there's always not child safe ones.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Like,
it's
a good, I would say, revenge movie. Well, it's not like. It was, first of all, it started as like sort of revenge, like, you I just want to get my car back because
Well, they sliced the neck of my puppy, which is what it looked like, whether they actually did or not. Whether they beat it to death or whatever. But
Yeah, it
when
killed
they
the
bring
dog.
it, when Keanu's like KO'd on the ground or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and next thing you see is there's like a trail from the puppy's neck
Yeah.
to him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, either they beat it to death or they sliced its neck. That's what I was like. Oh man.
But like, why did they do it?
Oh, because and that's the thing, isn't it? This is all starts because the son of a gangster thought he was untouchable because he was the son of a gangster. Little does he know,
Yeah.
right? You got to learn his lesson. He learned his lesson good because he's basically this one guy, and if you take into account the amount of films that John Wick's murdered people, this one
Yeah.
guy, yeah,
Just because it's
is
one guy.
responsible.
Like, all he could have just done is, even Keanu Reeves said, like, yeah, you can take my car, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Would have been that, you know? But then
Yeah.
you go and kill. Why did you go that one step too far and kill an innocent puppy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and now, like, half of New York is dead because of you. You know, it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. Hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah. But see, John Wick 1 was pretty slick, and he was injured. Obviously, he got beat up by the thugs
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he got stabbed somewhere.
Yeah.
And I did like it where the Perkins, the lady assassin,
Yeah.
she had a decent fight with him. It wasn't like, oh, a man beating up a woman or anything. Like, he's bigger than her, right?
Yeah.
She went for the wound, and I was like, oh, that is strategic right there. She's
That's
doing
why she's-
MMA knees right into it, and I was like, oh my, yeah.
That's why she's good at her job. Well, was good at her job.
Yeah. And then he decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab her and throw her. I'm gonna brute force her. Which is funny because once you start getting not the advantage, but just be like, I'll grab her and just throw her. She can't defy gravity.
Nope.
Yeah.
She's not special.
But then you gotta remember, yeah. I always see this film. If you allow, not power levels, of course, but just be like, okay, he got beat up beforehand, so he's slightly injured, and the way they sell the Baba Yaga, yeah, he could do this stuff, and you're like, I believe he can do this stuff.
Yeah.
He's on a certain level, right? But then as you go through the other films, he's actually way above the level that they set him at.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially when they say, "Oh, the Baba Yaga's coming," and the people sell it. The people when they sell the fear when they're talking and all that stuff. Oh, what's wrong with John Wick? And you get the big bosses, the big mob bosses, like we you know what? We should just all run.
Yeah. It's like.
Except that our ego can't allow us to because of our reputations.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna die. But that's it. We're caught between he's gonna murder us, or if we look weak, everyone else is gonna murder us. So, you know. There's no point in living, right? Might as well just die.
Yeah, you know, might as well just die in like the most painful way ever. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, as through the rest of the films, I don't know how long they take place in, but it seems like maybe a couple of weeks. That slash wound still has not healed, and yet he's murdering people.
1 and 2 are literally right afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think 3's the one where there might be a couple days going on during that one.
Yeah, well, he has to travel away out of the country and then travel back. But
yeah,
like as you were saying, the rest of the film, like if you from that point, I mean, probably just a week after the film has happened, right? Not even that.
Yeah, not even that. Yeah.
I was like, the mob boss in number 2. I was like, how you trying to box Keanu Reeves at the end? You see how he murdered all the people, right, and everything like that, and you're like, yeah, but, and I know you're gonna kill me, mate, but
yeah,
at this point you've murdered everything in your way, and I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't let you go. Right? That's what the theme of the film was. It's like, yeah, we don't want to fight him,
but we kind of have to.
yeah, and we know we know we ain't gonna win, right? But maybe we can take him down with us. Yeah. I don't know.
Something like
that. The number 2 though, I was watching it. I was like, this guy, the villain number 2. All you had to do, yeah. Why did you set everything else in motion?
Yeah.
Like, fair enough. Alfie Allen was a thug and he was an idiot. Like, he just thought he was more hype than he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
and the revenge is finished essentially.
Yeah.
And then the guy from number two is like, oh yeah, you came back to your murdering ways, right? I mean, you killer, right? Killing all these people, and therefore you owe me because I helped you. Now you have to help me kill my sister, right? So I can take her place in the ranks of wherever it is. And then after that, he's like, yeah, but by the way, I'm going to betray you because obviously you've murdered my sister now, so I can't let you go. No hard feelings. And Keanu's like, well, I'm just going to have to go murder you. So yeah, I did like Common in that one as well because Common came across like, yeah,
Yeah, I like coming in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a pretty good fight as well. Considering I want to say I don't know how trained Common is as in stunt fighting, but they looked like they were. It's like it's one thing when you're fighting a stuntman and there's enough control on the other side, right? But it looked like Common and Keanu Reeves are like, yeah, we're in our suits, right? And maybe we got padding on that, and they're just gonna have to hit the padded areas like hard to sell it. Yeah. And he also they come off across as like, look, we got jobs to do, yeah, and I might dislike that you killed the person I was protecting.
Yeah,
and there's a grudge, but a professional kind of grudge, you know.
Yeah. Professional.
Because they, when they fight onto the Continental, and Ian McShane's like, yeah, people, you got to stop it, and they're like, yep, okay, let's dust ourselves off and have a drink.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. There's some rules, I guess, that they follow, but then kind of.
Yeah, I did like how they had rules like that. It's like there's a world here that stuff is going on, and we are just seeing a part of it. But when like you got all the coins, all the underworld other stuff, and people that know each other, people that weave in and out of the story and stuff, all that. And you're like, I just accept it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not too many questions and not too many what's what. It's just like yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's cool, like how they do it and stuff.
Yeah,
like the world building is amazing in this, and like it don't beat it over your head. For example, some films go in with plans like, yeah, we're gonna have this many sequels and start building to stuff, and then they never happen.
Yeah.
But this, they give you like little drops of it. So say a sequel doesn't happen, you kind of get enough information.
Yeah.
Of the world to like.
Yeah, I think number one seemed to be like its own self-contained story.
Yeah.
Number two kind of does lead to number three. Yeah. Because he shoots the guy at the end. I don't know what that guy thought his plan was. Because like, yeah, okay. Now I've just turned on John Wick. I sent all my best assassins. I sent Mute Ruby Rose there.
Yeah.
To get murdered. And now I'm gonna just no one could kill on the Continental, right? And I like how he tried to abuse the loophole. Well, not loophole, but he just basically tries to abuse the rules. And John Wick's like, nah, I ain't having none of that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh yeah, I can sit here I've got enough money to stay here for so long without eating the same dishes. Yeah. Even though Miss Perkins broke the rules in the Continental by fighting John Wick anyways.
Mm-hmm.
For double the bounty.
Yep. But, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, so John Wick, he kind of had to do what he had to... Well, yeah. There's no way he was going to end up luring him out unless he set the Continental on fire and everyone had to go, and get out. But you're going to cause more damage?
Yeah. I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, he could have flooded it as well, I suppose, and then said, nah, it weren't me. But
can't prove it.
In the moment, though, it's just like, yeah. All right, I'll shoot this guy and get him done with, and then you're like, all right, now steps the stage for number 3, where all the assassins come after him.
Yeah.
Which is an excuse for more fighting, by the way.
Yep. And to have the best name for a film ever, Parabellum.
I also find it funny at the beginning of number 3 where he goes to, I want to say the Keymaker from Matrix, right?
That's what I thought.
But I don't think it's him.
No.
And he's like, yeah, stitch me up, doctor. Even though he's probably reopened the wound. I don't know if he got stabbed elsewhere, right? So I don't know if that's the same wound that reopened from number one.
Must be, isn't it?
I mean, like, that's just the thing, isn't it? Because I don't know how consistent they are with his injuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the key master is like he had an hour to do whatever he had to do before all the assassins come after him. Keymaker's like, oh no, this is the one where the basketball player, the guy who in the movie is not a basketball player, but he's a basketball player in real life, I think, because he's massive and tall. Yeah, he and he's stiff as well, by the way. His movements. Of course. John Wick goes to the library to look at his wife's photo, whatever it was, his keepsakes and stuff. And this basketball player, this guy's like, he's massive, and he's tall and massive, right?
Yeah.
Not hugely built, but
just tall
gangly.
Yeah.
He's like, John Wick's like, I still got time, and he's like, well, who's gonna know when you're dead,
Yeah.
And then he goes and fights John Wick, and he does the thing where he puts his hand on John Wick's head, and John Wick's supposed to, like, the cartoons.
Yeah, he tries to swing at him. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Except that John Wick knew how to counter that.
Because he's John Wick.
And he just beats him to death with a book.
Yeah. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah, I found that was great. It was no easy, okay. When they're having their fight and they're moving between the bookcases, I'm like, all right, because they can stitch together the shots if it don't look good or stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. That's smart, because first of all, how are you going to get a stunt double for this guy? He looks a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but then as well, if it's not Keanu doing the moves to the guy, you're gonna have to alter that somewhat as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, how he just punched the book in the guy, and I was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't punch the book in the guy. If you palm the book into the guy, you wouldn't hurt your own fist. But anyways, and then he just basically punched it into the guy's mouth, then gets the guy's head and punched it, like balances the book standing up and smashes the guy's head across it until he breaks his neck. I was like, wow, okay.
This is where you should have said like a weird
one-liner.
Yeah, which would be awesome. I would have loved it.
Yeah, and then he goes to the keymaker. The keymaker's like, Doc, I've got 5 minutes, and he's like, oh yeah, all right. And he tries stitching it up, and then he goes, I could have stopped. He had to stop because the time was up, and then Doc's like, they're never gonna believe me. Wait, he tells them where the painkillers are.
Yeah.
After time's expired. So he says to John Wick, they're never going to believe me that I stopped. And Keanu's like, yeah, but you did. And he goes, no, I told you where the medicine was. So you got to shoot me here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Try to avoid. And then Keanu just shoots him because he knows exactly what he's doing. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, one bullet might not be enough. You might shoot me right up. And she shoots him. Not where he signaled to, but, the rough ideas of area where it won't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, no, it won't hurt, right? But it will go clean through without doing major damage.
Yeah. See, he's a clever man.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool there. And like you say, Mark Dacascos, I thought he was going to do a bit more in the film. I don't know if I like how John Wick's got the Batman disappearing powers, that teleportation powers that even Batman don't actually have, because they were in a train station, right?
Yeah. And
Mark Dacascos' minions teleport behind John Wick.
Yeah.
From in front of him. When the kids are walking by, and John Wick just headlocks the guy and just stabs him in the neck, and then he's like, okay, and then I'll teleport away myself, but his body's down on the floor.
Because that's one of his mutants' abilities. He's like Nightcrawler. He's a bamf. Bamf.
And then and then in the end fight where they just teleport in a place, even though it wasn't, it's like,
Yeah.
I did like how Keanu. How tall do you think Keanu is?
How tall?
Yeah.
I reckon he's about 5'11", if anything 6 foot.
I'm thinking 6'1", only because right. I don't think he'd be taller than that, but only when he's fighting the guys from the raid.
Yeah.
Too, they're tiny, and I know it's. I say I know, but Keanu doesn't look like a super tall guy.
No.
Right? He doesn't look like he's 6'5" or anything like that.
No.
But these guys look small. Yeah. So I was like,
check.
he made the Keanu look like a giant.
Okay, he
Though
is 186 meters.
86, that's about 6 foot something.
Yeah, about
Right?
6'1". Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those
Okay.
guys must have been really small then.
Yeah, because he looked like a giant compared
Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
And he had a pretty good fight with them as well. It's not like for example, he was being carried in that match. He looked like he was doing his own end of it.
Yeah.
Though it might be easier for, like, if it's two. Well, here's the thing: he probably has a harder job than them because he's got to keep up with two people where they
Yeah.
can tag in and out. Ish. But there was a bit where I was like, "Oh, this is what's great? The Scott Steiner belly suplex that he did.
Yeah.
He pulled down the guy's jacket, and then boom, like I thought it was going to be finished. That guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Here's the thing with some of these fight scenes, though. Not to knock them or anything, because they actually were really good.
Mm.
It's just that when you're looking at it, and you're like, right. So if he's fighting everybody, you don't lie down unless you're dead, right?
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't.
No.
Well, or you should be selling, right? That guy took Mad Dog from the raid, took the belly to belly suplex, right?
Mm.
And then he just lay there. And I was like, okay, maybe he's back. Maybe he's like definitively finished. Maybe because he had the knife or something. Maybe he stabbed his own back with the knife on the landing. Yeah.
Okay.
So Keanu's fighting the other guy, and then as the scene, as the camera turns around, Mad Dog then just kind of gets back up to fight more. And I'm like, if you just soldier your back rolling about, then that the signal that you're still alive. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not to obviously knock it. It's just like one of those things for you, like, you could have made it a bit more dramatic there.
Yeah, he could have.
Instead, you took the belly to back suplex, belly to belly suplex, yeah, and you just kind of lay down to sell it. Even though in real life, if after taking that, I think in real life after taking that, you'd have been like, just rolled onto your front.
Yeah, I would just
and be like, and what's it called, cringe your face.
I would have just lied on my back and played dead.
Yeah,
to be fair,
but you got up to fight more.
I'd
have done when you look over, yeah, and then at the Eddie Guerrero, when you look over, yeah, pretend you're knocked out when they see you.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I get killed.
Because if you think about it, like if I was in this world and I know John Wick's resume, literally, I would take that babe's belly and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay here. I don't want to die. I've already got talked into doing this, even though I know there's no way I'm gonna win if he's like murdered everyone in some crime family so he can have his freedom.
Yeah,
I'm a minion. What chance do I have?
So what you're saying is you're going through your bad life choices and you're laying on the floor.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm like, I'm done. There's no point. After this, I'm repenting. I'm going to become priest.
Exactly.
Just, I just wouldn't. No.
Yeah. Looking forward to number 4. Donnie Yen's in it. Scott Adkins is in it.
Oh, okay.
And if you know, yeah. I didn't see Scott Adkins in the trailer though, but I read that he was in it.
I haven't read any of the trailer. I haven't watched any trailers.
I'm glad that they're getting like good people to do stuff within the film. Like good fighters and stuff. No, screen fighters and stuff. And people take cameos like I want to say cameos, but like Halle Berry just come in to do something, and then her role's done.
Yeah, that is true.
You got the lady who played John Wick's wife. I think she's been in stuff. I can't remember offhand.
Yeah.
iRobot, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting mixed up.
I think so.
Yeah, and she did her stuff and came and went.
Yeah.
You got even random like
Nash.
exactly. No, but I don't know if you recognize the guy from Chad. Oh, the guy from Mortal Kombat Conquest. Chad. What's his name?
Oh, the
plays
guy.
Zero.
Or the guy. Oh yeah. The best and
yeah.
worst actor of all time. Yeah.
Where the guy in Bloodsport 2, 3, and 4.
Is he in there? Okay, I did not know he was in.
Yeah, well, that's the ones where he took over. He's playing Van Damme's character because Van Damme's not in it.
Oh, that makes sense now because they both
Yeah.
have accents. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean he looks kind of like Van Damme, but he doesn't really kind of like Van
Yeah,
Damme.
he looks like someone who could be like a cousin of Van Damme, not like
Yeah,
a direct sibling. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that guy. I legit thought after like Mortal Kombat Conquest, he just disappeared.
No, he seems to be like no. He was in the Matrix as well.
Was he
He
in
was
the
playing one of the
Matrix?
other. Yeah, he was playing one of the other agents.
Oh wow, that shows how
Yeah.
much I did not notice him.
But the Matrix Reloaded. Yeah.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but
Okay.
he's the dude from. Yeah, I think he's one of the stunt people from like 8711. The guys who I think got more notoriety because of this film.
Yeah.
Because they you know I think they help bring action choreography to a certain level.
Yeah.
When you compare like Hong Kong martial arts and American martial arts,
Yeah.
and I think they were kind of like trying to push it more to be long shots and stuff like that, and have to train the actors and stuff for their parts in the film.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I legit didn't. Oh wow, good on.
The thing is, though, okay, so John Wick takes damage, like I said in the first film, right?
Yeah.
He gets a bulletproof suit, sort of. Okay, not when that suit, an actual suit, right?
Okay.
Not suit of armor or anything like that. Yeah, like a suit with a blazer and trousers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, they're shooting at him, and he's holding like a section of it up to block well, not take the shots to the face, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hold on a second, yeah.
Yeah.
You shoot Batman, his armor will take it because it's solid. Yeah.
Hmm.
You shoot a jacket, it's floppy.
Yeah.
And so unless it's making contact with something more solid, like if you're wearing a bulletproof suit and I shot you, it still hurt, right?
Yeah.
But if you held a bulletproof cloth in front of your face and I shot the cloth, that bullet's still going through the cloth, right? It's going past it, you know. Because it wouldn't just hit the cloth and then drop down.
Well, it depends. This magic material that's probably made up for this universe, maybe.
Well, no, you know what it is? It's vibranium.
Yeah, there we go. It just proven fact that John Wick is in the Marvel MCU. So you know.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
The bullets hit
Yes.
and they just seem to disintegrate or drop, or they just like, all right, impact just completely lost. Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But all right.
Well, I am. Oh, you haven't seen it. I was gonna reference Daredevil season 3, but you haven't seen something in that yet.
Oh, does something happen?
No, I was just gonna talk about bulletproof clothing. Is all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I like that they have okay. Bulletproof stuff is not stab proof, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool that
stuff. Yeah.
but John Wick, he's walking around in a suit, but he's getting stabbed, which makes sense. Because the weave has to be different.
Yeah.
But if they did made it in universe where these suits are just bulletproof and stab proof, I would accept it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
But
With all the crazy stuff that's going on already.
yeah, no, sure.
Okay.
I just
You know what?
accept anything.
No, well, I could see bulletproof trousers and blazer, right?
Yeah.
Stab proof shirt. Okay,
Yeah.
I could buy it like that. Or you could have the outer lining of the blazer bulletproof and the inner lining stab proof.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, first of all, how many of these people got Chuck Norris action genes because of the amount of kicks they have to throw?
Yeah.
And the amount of stunts, not stunt stuff, but the amount of landings and stuff you have to take.
Yeah, you're gonna need to have action genes. If not, you're buying new trousers every day. Huh.
Yeah, unless they're made of like stretchy material. The thing is, he looks so cool, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, it's not practical.
No. That's like in all these films, and then people, even like in the Matrix, you think about it now, like the stuff people wear in the Matrix Mate,
It's true.
it's impractical to fight in. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Trinity wearing tight leathers. Oh no. Yeah. She wouldn't be throwing high kicks in tight leathers. Keanu though, wore them Roman Reigns shield pants, so he was all right.
Oh, that's only in the first one. In the second one, he's
Oh
wearing
yeah,
like a suit, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
with the John Constantine black version trench coat.
Yeah. You're like, there's no way you're moving freely in that and fighting 6 people at once.
Yeah, with buttons all over. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it makes sense. I'm going
But yeah, I mean, the whole movie could have ended. Like the whole series could have finished after number 1, right?
Yeah.
But the guy in number 2 just had to be a complete dick about
Yep.
everything. He's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, your plan, right? It's dodgy in the first place, but you're like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because I just need to execute. We don't think of the consequences. They're like, all right, hold on. If I rob a bank here, I could get caught. I might not get caught, but that's one of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, right, so I'm going to do something bad, yeah, and I'm going to then antagonize the guy who's doing it for me. What do you think is going to happen?
And again, he knows John Wick's MO. He knows it's going to end badly, but all right, it's just...
Yeah. What did you think as well at the end of Parabellum, where Ian McShane betrayed John Wick?
That hurt me, man.
Well, the thing is, okay, as much as there's two ways to look at this, and I don't 100% know which way I'm on at the moment, because then number 4 will probably confirm it.
Yeah.
But he shot him off he shot him off the rooftop, and he flipped over quite cartoonishly, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's like fall off the rooftop, fine. You slide onto the tarpaulin or whatever, right? But then when he flips over and hits the fire escape, and then flops over something else and hits the ground, I was like, okay, well, that's a bit, that's a bit superhuman to survive, but
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah.
For me, it's like he survived worse through this film, so far.
I didn't know if he shot him off the rooftop. I think he shot him, and he expected him. Well, he's gonna fall off the rooftop because that's where he shot him, right?
Yeah.
But did he shoot him and think, all right, I'm gonna kill him, or do you think he shot him off the rooftop and I expect him to survive because I ain't really betraying?
Nah, he done it on purpose. There's no. It's a swerve. I was on your side all along, John.
Oh well, no, but that's because he was. I have to set the scene, by the way.
All right, set the scene.
He was getting investigated because he allowed John Wick to have that hour of freedom or whatever it is to get away.
Yeah.
After John Wick killed the guy in Continental, Ian McShane then also had to have the repercussions from that because it was on his property and stuff like that. And then he's like, "Well, I'm not giving up the Continental," and they're like, "Well, we'll just take it from you." Except that John Wick comes back, and him and the what's it called? I don't want to say it was the receptionist, yeah, because he's the guy who runs the place. What do you call it?
Say the floor manager.
Well, yeah, the quote unquote floor manager, but yes, you know what I mean. But what I'm also saying is, he's the guy he's like the man behind. He's the muscle, kind of.
Yeah.
He's the very what's it called? When you got that mannerisms and stuff like that. And he's not like elite muscle and stuff like that, but he's just more like well-mannered, mild-mannered muscle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect him to be able to do that stuff, but it's cool that you find out, this guy can also murder a lot of people.
Yeah, he's like that guy. He's probably like a super high like kill count, but he's like, he's like John Whitman. He's like, you know what? I don't need to do this no more. I've got a cushy job being the floor manager of this lovely establishment.
Yeah,
but
I do find it funny how they just end up. So they go out to take care of all the minions who are armored up in their SWAT gear or whatever it is, right? And they've got their bulletproof shotguns and stuff like that, and knives and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you have to see their faces because it's them, right? They're the stars.
Yeah.
The faceless stuntmen, they can wear masks because you don't need to see them. I'm like, all right, but logically speaking, right? Wouldn't you wear some sort of face covering? Because they're gonna be aiming at your head. Nah, we're gonna do this Punisher style.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But as we know, because I'm sure you've seen all these police procedurals and all that stuff, where everyone they wear the bulletproof armor. Well, the that sort of gear,
Yeah.
and they don't wear the helmets. Yeah, all right. But all the other people, all the people that aren't stars, all the stunt people, all the extras and stuff, yeah, they have to wear all the full on stuff.
Yeah, because you don't need to see them.
Yeah. So the people who run the assassins den or whatever it is, they're like Ian McShane's like, yeah, you can send more people, by the way, and my dude and John Wick are just gonna murder everyone that you send in this direction while I just sip my tea or knock back a couple of, what was he having, alcoholic beverages.
I think so.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, fine. We get the message. You're just trying to show strength. We're gonna have to have a little bit of a cover story, and you're just trying. So what we're saying is, you're trying to make yourself show strength, that we don't take this away from you. Okay, right? By murdering all of us. And he's like, yeah, all right, fair enough. I'm sure I can make the people accept that story.
Yeah, no one's on.
But what about John Wick? And then the machine's like, well, I mean, we can't really have him running around, really, can we? And then shoots him a couple of times, flops off the rooftop, as we say, cartoonishly, a bit over the top, but hey. So I was thinking maybe he betrayed them just to get him out of their life, because they expected to lift have his body on foot. And the way Ian McShane sells the dialogue is like, well, he's dead, isn't he? I mean, what was the? I can't remember the exact line, because it was along the lines of, John Wick has gone, and Ian McShane's like, yeah, I expected so, as in he's dead, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes, you misunderstand. He's not there where his body's not there, and he's like, oh, really? So I was like, oh, okay. Did he plan it? Did he plan to help his boy out of a bad situation? But you're thinking, this is going to be John Wick going into Continental and actually just murdering everybody.
I kind of think that, because, like, I can kind of see that the Ian McShane character, like, okay, he has kind of made my life messy now. I need to kind of get him off of my case.
Yeah.
And killing him maybe the best way.
Yeah.
But I don't think he planned it as much, because there's gonna be a big payoff to it in the next one, obviously.
Well, yeah, we'll see how that works. As in, we're speculating at the moment. I will say as well, I like the certain lines in this film where were inadvertently funny but aren't really.
Yeah.
Where John Leguizamo's Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi.
He so the mobster from number one, the Russian mobster from number one, is like calling him saying, "Why did you slap my son across the face?" Because the son obviously nicked John Wick's car, killed John Wick's dog, and then tried to get the license plates changed or whatever. And he's like, "Where'd you get this car?" And the guy Alfie Allen's like, "Oh, I just took it." And he goes, and then he just slaps him across the face like a bitch.
Yeah.
I ain't do nothing to this car. I knows whose cars it is. So then when the guy obviously tattles to his dad because he's a punk, because he can't take care of his own business, which, by the way, helps him be hated.
Yeah, yeah.
All this stuff is just like, you know what? He's a brat, really. He doesn't know any control. He's just like living off the name of his father.
Yep. He's acting like a teenager, even though he's probably in his like mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when that guy calls Luigi and says, "Why did you slap my son?" He goes, "Yeah, that man, your boy took John Wick's car, killed his dog, and he didn't finish him." So, and the mobster's like, "Oh," they realize it. All right, yeah, we're in trouble. We are in trouble.
Yeah, if this is my son, I'm like, yeah, son, we had a good run together.
You know what? If it was my son, I'd be like, all right, can someone get in contact with John Wick? Right, I'm just gonna stab this boy myself, and we'll have less trouble.
Yeah. No, even though John, guys, Dad,
I'm
I'm
obviously
like,
joking about that, but it's just one of those situations where it's like, you know what, yeah, it'd probably be less trouble
yeah,
for you to get rid of this punk.
I would legit just like, all right, son, come with me, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna sort this out. Drive my son away to John Wick. Go, yeah, here you go.
Yeah,
We will settle.
yeah,
Yeah, all right, cool. See you
yeah,
later.
exactly.
Bye, son. You had a good, you had a good like 27 years of your life. It's fine.
Yeah,
See you
yeah,
later.
yeah, exactly. And
Oh,
you're the punk anyways, so
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, what a douche.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. But Alfie Allen played that so well that you're like, yeah,
Yeah, I hate him.
100%. You know,
Yeah.
he knew his job and he executed it so well, and now we got a franchise because of him.
Yeah, it's true. Him
I
being
did.
a asshole got a
Yeah.
movie franchise going. Yeah, good on him.
I forgot the other guy as well. The guy who played Satan in Constantine. I forgot his name. But yeah, the way he sells it, like in the beginning of John Wick 2, where he's like, "Yeah, well, I've got John Wick's car. I'm just gonna, I want to give it back to him.
Yeah.
I really don't want him mucking about with my stuff because, like, in his garage, where we tell everyone to clear out because John Wick's coming and yeah, it's gonna be good."
Yeah. Oh, John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah, and they set up the I think it's like they set up some random line where John Wick killed someone with a pencil.
Yeah.
That's the line they say in number 1.
Yeah.
And then they said they pay it off in number 2.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a cool scene. Where yeah, the sumo like that the montage where he's fighting all the different assassins, the violin girl, the sumo wrestler,
Yeah.
the dudes that come after him, where he actually does stab them up with pencils. Like, yeah. And then Tommen, who's like, yeah, we're gonna I'm gonna be up there on that balcony, on the shopping floor, wherever it is, yeah, the train station, and he's gonna be down there, and we're just gonna silently just point our guns at each other and shoot, all right, in front of all these civilians, but they don't know what's going on because they don't hear nothing.
No.
And they're just like hiding their guns underneath their blazers, like shooting each other's directions.
Yeah, it was dope.
As they're walking as well, and I'm like, that's great.
It's such a like I would say to me, the John Wick franchise, yeah, and it's probably me going a bit too far, but
yeah,
I would say they are modern day masterpieces, like how they're filmed, the stories, the choreography. It's like a simple premise, but it's so cool.
I think as well, like you say, the choreography, they look like fights. They don't look like one person's just gonna destroy another person. They look like the hits look like they hurt, and things are deliberately clunky looking. As in,
Yeah,
they're not so crisp and perfect.
no,
but they wouldn't be in a fight, you know.
yeah, that.
Yeah. So I don't want to say, oh, it's necessarily more realistic, but it's just one of those things where you kick a guy's legs out, yeah, he's going to be holding on to you, and you might all tumble around and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to lay in your shots, yeah, to get the wounds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah, and I like it. It's got knife play as well. It's got guns. It's got different types of guns as well.
Yeah,
it's got martial arts in there, and people don't
arts.
fight. Yeah, they don't always fight in the same style, and they always use improvised weapons. Like when he had a knife fight against the guys in the raid, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I've got a reach advantage. Plus, I got a belt with a buckle. I guess I'm gonna have to, you know."
It's even got like car scenes in it as well. You know,
right? Like your boy Dominic Toretto does.
I'm saying, it branches out to the Fast and Furious like fans. Yeah, man.
I'm just waiting for him to use the motorcycle like the underrated film Talk. I joke because I've only seen that film once, by the way.
Awesome. Don't worry,
I'm
watching it again.
So motorcycle food as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, but he fights people in different styles in different ways. Because the smaller guys, like he'd hit them hard, and the bigger guys, he has to be a bit more creative, getting advantage. So it's not like, he's just gonna be like a Donnie Yen or Dominic Toretto, where he's just gonna fight everyone the same way.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't at all.
Yeah. And I like the assassins vary. That's the thing. It's not. Yes, they might be rotating the same stuntmen over and over again, right? With their helmets and whatnot, right? But it's just like the fights are different enough each time, and they don't make it look too the same.
No,
you know.
It's not rinse and repeat or anything like that.
No, exactly. Because he does different things in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what adds to the variety of it. When Halle Berry's commanding her dogs to go and kill people, I'm like, wow, look at that, man. I'm like, I don't want to be a guy that dog's grabbing.
Yeah.
What's that guy? What's that guy? They went to in number 3. They went to the
Morocco,
guy.
In it?
So yeah. And is he Robson or Jerome?
I think he was Jerome. Well, let me just make sure.
Yeah.
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome.
It's funny that you remember that as well. I legit forgot about both these guys, even though the other one, Robson, is on a lot of things as well. But I legit forgot they existed until then. I was like, oh yeah, they were a duo at one point. Huh.
Yeah, so he's English man with fake Moroccan accent, but whatever, right? I mean, English accent, that's all. And he's like, yeah. So Halle Berry, for some reason in this film, and when I say that, I'm just like, huh, okay, fair enough. She owes John Wick. She takes John Wick somewhere, and she takes a dog with her, right? John Wick love it, like, and the guy's like, well, you owe me for coming here for some reason, right?
Yeah.
So I shall take your dog, and she's like, no, you can't. And then he goes, all right, well, neither of us can then, because I'm going to shoot it, and he shoots it, right?
Yeah.
The dog sells it, by the way, even though he's wearing bulletproof doggy clothing or stuff like that.
Yeah,
because
like when she goes bulletproof dog vest. Yeah,
because she sells it. He's down, and then she's like, she takes the flattened bullet and looks at it, and then looks at Keanu, and he's like, don't do this. And she's like, wow. She like then does it by shooting everyone.
Yeah.
And Keanu's like, oh shit, I gotta back her up.
It's like, well, now you've started the killing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very good how they use the dog for the stunts as well, jumping around, like biting people and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to be a stunt man on that because they're dogs, man. But yeah, that set piece, I want to say for no reason whatsoever, just other than to show dog kung fu. It seemed, because
kung fu, yeah.
Not that it needed to happen or didn't need to happen, but just like, it happened, and then she didn't appear for the rest of the film.
Yeah, good cameo though. Yeah.
So cool stuff. Very interesting. I do wonder, like, how long can this franchise last? Because 2 more films, you say?
Yeah.
I say I only because, not because we'll get tired of it, but just how many people have you got left to kill in the world?
New York is a big place, so you know.
Yeah. How many people got a one-man assassinate? How many assassins can he assassinate?
All the assassins. Yeah. Maybe the whole thing is that he's gonna be the one who ends assassinist stuff. That makes no sense. But ends like the assassin working business by the end of it. So
you reckon he's going to kill all the people that own the assassin franchise?
Yeah, you'd be like, now there's no more assassins. Everyone's sort of free, and then
the head of the table, whatever they call it, right?
Yeah. Because isn't there like a head of the table? That's the one who killed Lawrence Fishburne. Will try to kill him, and then you find out Lawrence Fishburne isn't actually.
Oh no! I think they did 7 cuts for 7 bullets that they gave him, so they slashed him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they were to kill him or not, but it was like, okay, we're gonna make a good couple of cuts in you.
Yeah. I think they were trying to kill him, and then that's why at the end it's like, me and you, John, we're gonna burn this place down.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the exact words, but that's what all them lines. Well,
I'm
interested.
Yeah. Also, it's like, so John. I mean, I know everyone's gonna come after you, but you gotta have some friends somewhere. I know Halle Berry was one of your friends, but it's like you can't. I mean, you're gonna have to team up some people to take down the high table. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, so like you think your suspicion is basically he's gonna have to assassinate everyone on the high table, even though we know how many members there are, in order to get this thing stopped, right? Do you think he's gonna die in the end or not? Or do
I
you think
don't
he's just gonna be
know.
like one of those like in like where he's taking enough damage and he's walking off to the sunset, but he's like he could just bleed out at the end of like by the time the credits roll, that sort of thing.
I would like to think
Yeah.
he dies at the end, kind of like a Logan sort of thing where it's the end of each chapter because he's done everything he sort of needed to do.
Yeah.
What else is there for him?
Yeah. I'm like, where can it go?
That's what I'm saying.
Where
So he
Yeah.
kind of needs to die.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's one of those things where you're like, we'll see. I'm intrigued to see what's going on next because I'm not sure how this story's going to end. Obviously, I want the character, and I think Keanu does this really well. Actually, he just plays it so low key. Like it's not bombastic over the top. It's just like I was done with this.
Yeah.
But
I had my out, and you lot brought me back in.
Yeah, and he's just like, you know, I'm directing, I'm controlled. I've got controlled pinpoint precision rage at a particular set of people, right? And if you go in my way, then I'm gonna have to take you down. But not like, hey, we're just people that happen to be opposite sides. No grudges. That's all.
Yeah.
You know?
Hope more of that happens in it, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think they'll get some more action stars in this franchise just to do their stuff, or
Maybe.
yeah?
But if it's only in a good short burst, I'm happy with that.
Why you reckon your boy Vin Diesel might make an appearance at some point?
Nah. I can see, for some reason, I could see like Ryan Reynolds or someone being in it for like a cameo, but I can't see.
Well, Wesley Snipes.
Or even Wesley Snipes, yeah. Or Michael J. White. Yeah, I can see sort of.
Well, I can see Michael J. White probably being another assassin, and maybe Wesley Snipes could be like one of those other continental hotel owners.
Yeah. See that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see Uncle Vin in there. No.
Oh, sorry, Uncle Vin.
Yeah, I don't know why I just said that, but.
Oh, that Uncle Ben. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's gonna be in it as well. You know, it's gonna tie it to the MCU.
Well, to be fair, we never saw MCU Uncle Ben, so hey.
It's true. We just kind of heard about him.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. But yeah. Like, I don't think most of this is. I don't think it's cartoonishly over the top. However, the villains, some of the villains are.
Yeah.
I did like Mark DeCosta's played the way he's like, you know what. You know the way that he's like, oh yeah, John Wick, you know, great fan of stuff like that. It's just like, wow, you know what, dude's not here to kill just for the sake of killing all the money. I was like, well, he is, but he isn't. Right?
Yeah,
he's just like, hey, you know, we cool.
You know, I just get paid to do this, but realistically, I love you. You know.
Well, that's what was good about it because like the characters react to John Wick in different ways.
Yeah.
Well, you're a great fan of your reputation and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Common and John Wick were friends. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily they're friends or whatever, but they have a sort of respect, a mutual respect, except that when they talk in code, it's great. Because Common's like, all right, he knows something's up, and he says to John Wick, did you have a good night? Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And John Wick's like, unfortunately, yes. And then Common's like, all right, they just both pull out their guns to shoot each other because they both knew exactly what happened.
Yeah. And this is where we pause the episode and say that, hey, I have to split this into two because it got too long. So, in probably tomorrow, you'll get part 2 of this. Yeah, this has been a weird week where we've got put out a lot of episodes in a week span because of the stuff that's come up recently. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you're ready for part 2 when that drops. I have been Kyle Charles, and my co-host CY, who's here somewhere. He's not really, because I'm recording this from my house without him. But I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.